I'ma share my pain, I'ma share my story. You can walk the way with me through the glory. God be the glory.
Well,
Hey, Daniel.
Sydney Harbour, Opera House right behind us. Not bad, not bad. How do you guys feel about working in the city of Sydney?
I think it's a great location. You know, everything is here, essentially. It's very busy a lot of the time, so you do feel that rush. You kind of get used to the day-to-day routine, you know, the commute to and from work. Most of the time, everyone's commuting through public transport, right? So if you experience the delays, it's a nightmare for everyone.
Trains can be dodgy for sure.
Yeah, it's like in Victor, like first of all, it's a beautiful place. You can have a beautiful view of the harbor,
Yeah.
beautiful view of the opera house. As Victor said, like public transport, that's the only, thing which I feel that's more like a hurdle as an individual can, face. Yeah.
It's been like over a year that we've been in this sort of location. Do you ever get used to it, or do you find coming here, you're still admiring the Harbour Bridge, the Opera House?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I think every time I come out here with my friends, and I always kind of linger here around here at nighttime. So you see the night city skylines, and then you see the big buildings and all that. I think it always kind of grounds me a little bit, right? Every day after work, especially during winter, it's nighttime. Sunsets rather early during that time, that period, and you see all this stuff. You feel so small. It's very, very grounding experience, and it just makes you kind of grateful for how fortunate we are to be in Australia. Number one, how fortunate we are to have a job where we're able to be in the center of the city.
I completely agree. It's different at night. You get a different vibe. We're used to being here at the day when the sun's shining, but when the lights happen and stuff, especially during Vivid, I find myself leaving work and seeing Vivid, all the different activities, all the lights and stuff. I'm like, wow, this is absolutely incredible.
That's right, yeah. And if like your friends want to ever hang out in the city, you just go straight after work.
And you know all the places as well. You know it off by heart. I feel like I'm the tour guide sometimes in the city.
That's why I call him as a Google Map. He's my Google Map.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but like in my previous roles, I have been in the city like once or twice, but it's been like the QVB, like right in the heart of the city.
Yeah.
And though it's cool to be in the city, it's like busy, it's chaotic. I feel like at the Rocks, it's like such a nice mixture of both. You're in the city, you get the two of the most iconic structures in the world in your front view, but you also don't have, it can be busy, but it's not as busy. You don't hear the noise of traffic driving past and all that stuff. It's not as bad as being right in the center of Sydney.
So like, what's the best thing, if I'm gonna ask you, Daniel, and then Victor, what's the best thing you guys love about the city?
I think the variety. You can go into any place, there's a different vibe of a bar, different clubs, different restaurants. I love, food and stuff. There's always something to do, You don't have to look too hard. Yeah,
I think for me, it's just a change of pace, right? From the day-to-day life, it can get quite slow at times, especially when, you're just at home sitting there doing nothing, nothing planned. Every day you have something, a place to travel to because it is the city. Public transport is the only viable option to come here unless you're on a park, which is very expensive. So yeah, it's just a change of pace. You kind of feel like it's a bit different, wakes you up a bit, keeps you alive.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. If you guys have to make one change, let's suppose, as we are discussing about the public transport, let's suppose if we got a facility to have, free parking in the city, what do you guys recommend? Is still free parking thing or the public transport?
I personally don't mind the public transport. I live relatively close to the city, so it's not too bad. I don't have to worry about my, fuel and all that stuff. I feel a bit more part of the society going to work. I feel like it's like sort of a routine type thing rather than just sort of being by myself in the car and then getting into work. I don't know. I feel like it works for me personally.
What do you think, Victor?
Well, no, it's interesting because if you said free parking, right? Our roads are too narrow for that many amount of cars to come in and use that free parking. So I think it will still be a nightmare with traffic. But if somehow we optimized it still,
Yeah.
I still think people won't opt for driving here.
Sydney's not made for cars. Like Melbourne, that's a city that's made for cars. Here,
Yes.
so many one-way directions. You make one wrong turn, and you're stuck in a loop. You can't get out. It's chaotic in Sydney.
Like I mean, I'm gonna say infrastructure. I'm not sure I'm not using the right word, but the structure of the whole city, especially in Sydney, is really like difficult to drive.
It wasn't well planned.
If you
I
compare
believe.
with Melbourne, it's easy to drive.
Night
in the
and
city.
day.
Yeah.
Night and day.
wider roads in
But
Melbourne.
then there's also the element of, after work you're tired. You don't want to drive home, right?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I actually do quite enjoy commuting on a train or on a bus, especially if it has quite a lengthy transit time, purely because you can just kind of zone out to listen to some music to wind down.
Yeah.
That's kind of like your relaxed time before you get home. You have to start cooking and
Exactly.
just get doing all that.
Even you can go to bar or some
That's
other
what I was
places
about to say.
after work, have some fun. If you're going to bar and you have to drive, bro, you have to stay for at least 4 hours here.
That's right.
Exactly.
Then it's better to live in the office. Like sleep in the office and wake up next day.
There's been numerous times or on like a Friday night where, we've caught up and
Yeah.
went out for some drinks, went to a restaurant and stuff.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's all right here.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys been working in the city for almost like 2 years, almost 2 years.
2 years.
So if you got an opportunity in future, to move on from city to some any other suburb, so it's gonna be really easy for you guys to adjust, or it's gonna be difficult.
Yeah.
think?
Well, I think it's more so kind of like the work environment. That's the biggest thing at play, right? Because the location, I think, regardless, you'll have to travel, either public transport or driving. It's mainly the work environment. And, depending on how that plays out, I think it could take some time to adjust to it. Just because if, you're in the suburbs, in a quieter place, there's not much to do there. Things could slow down a lot for you, right? And then depending on, what kind of vibe you like at work or how you function at work, sometimes people need a bit of a rush to keep staying motivated. Otherwise, it just becomes too mundane, too boring, and they just look for other opportunities. But it's interesting that you say moving away from the city, because there's also, 2 other CBDs that's kind of starting up now,
Yeah,
Parramatta and Chatswood.
exactly.
So, there is, I think, majority of the jobs will kind of
Spread out.
out there. But the city is unique, one and only.
Yeah, you can't. That is a good point. Yeah, Parramatta and there are starting to build some sort of cities in different areas of Sydney, but yeah, it'll be hard to top.
Does environment really matter? So when I'm saying environment, like there's one environment when you're working at a workstation, like you have colleagues next to you, you have people next to you, but there's an environment, surround your office, like rocks. We have got beautiful, like opera house. So what do you guys think? Is it really gonna help your mental health or no?
Absolutely. I think, when sometimes you're at kind of fork, right? Nothing's coming to you, no ideas, you're a bit lost. Come out here, pace yourself a bit around the place.
Exactly.
Being in nature, seeing all the views, I think it's really stimulating. If you're in the city, if you're in another CBD, say for example Parramatta, they don't have,
They don't have
water
that
side,
culture, yeah,
they don't have
exactly.
opera house. It's just buildings upon buildings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Walk around buildings, you gotta go back to another building.
Yeah.
That's true.
I completely agree with you, Victor, man. Like, there's times where I'm really, tired, run down, maybe I didn't have a good night's sleep, and then it's just so refreshing. Like,
Yeah.
obviously you do get a little bit desensitized, but honestly, you haven't been here for like 2 years. It's not that desensitizing. I still walk, by the harbour and I'm looking at the
Yeah.
opera house. I'm like, damn, this is pretty
The
incredible.
vibe is awesome.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my thing. So have you guys ever been to Wentworth Point?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place. So what I do whenever I'm like a little bit depressed, like in thoughts, so what I do, I drive to the Wentworth Point and
Yeah.
sit just next to that lake, having smoke, and just thinking, like keep talking to yourself and think about, like a lot of thoughts.
Anything.
So that, environment, that thing helps you a lot. That's what I have, experienced. What do you guys say? Are you guys have, experienced something familiar with that?
Yeah.
Same with that?
I feel like it lifts my spirits, it lifts my morale. I can, science, I'm happy to have lunch in the office, outside the office, but science is nice to sit by the water, you have a coffee and just relax and just, you know, enjoy the view, appreciate what you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about water flowing that you can just stare at it for a long time and just
Exactly, Victor. Yes.
water and fire. There's something about those elements, right? You can just
If you just
sit
keep
there.
looking at that, even you know,
Even though nothing changes, but it's just flowing. So
Yeah.
you're not looking at something that's still. It really stimulates it. So I do 100% agree with you in terms of being in this area. You know, sometimes I don't even need to walk outside the office, honestly. I look outside the window.
exactly.
You see the opera house, you see the water, you see boats moving,
Yeah.
you know, quite quickly here and there. For me, it's always a grounding moment. Right? It's always, you know, when you're stressed out, you look out and like, you know what? It's not that bad. Where
Exactly.
we have all this, we have access to all this. It's not that bad.
People spend money to come here, you know, from different suburbs, from
That's right.
Newcastle, you know, Katoomba, XYZ,
Definitely.
you know, like they came here just to have some photos in front of the opera house. And look at us.
We're here every
we don't give a
day.
shit.
Yeah.
We're privileged. That's right. We take it for granted.
Yes, yes. And you can't not, you know, when people are coming for the first time, coming from wherever, you know, they're going to appreciate it a lot more than we are.
But there is one thing, whenever I visit this place during daytime, I got always the same vibe, same feeling that I'm coming for the work. But whenever I came here, around like after 6, after 7 p.m., you know,
Yeah.
like night time, this place give me totally different
Yes.
vibe, different
Yeah.
buzz altogether. Those, you know, buildings with the purple neon lights, you know, like
It's
so
beautiful.
beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, it's a completely different vibe. Yeah.
So like, what do you guys think about 2023? Anything you guys wanna say, whether personally, professionally?
Loved it. Did some amazing things in the marketing department. You know, built our own sort of agency together. Went beyond our ordinary scopes of videos and just made some fun stuff. You know, after hours was a big birth from 2023, and now we get to do a lot of fun stuff.
So Daniel, your top 3 moments, best 3 moments of 2023.
Christmas party was pretty amazing.
Okay.
Hamilton Island at the beginning. Loved Hamilton Island.
Hamilton Island.
That was
What happened in
great
February,
start.
right?
I think
Start of February,
Start
yes.
February, yeah.
What a blast, what a blast. Speaking of like getting like a fresh air, you know, and sort of a nice break. I'm blanking on one. My car being, my car battery dying on Blue Mountains.
So car broke down.
Yeah.
And we are here.
Problem.
So there's something went wrong with the battery. You'll,
Good for you, but car's not working, so.
yeah.
That's your highlight, Daniel.
That's the best highlight.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you got to
Oh
take the
my
hardships.
God.
That was fun though.
Does that happen this year?
Last year, we
Last
filmed
year,
last
last
year.
year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right at the end of
Oh,
last year.
yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, Victor.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just 2023 was a lot of growth. Like you reach the end of 2022, and you're like, hey, I think I learned a lot. Right? You just started. You really just started this industry and this whole environment, and I think 2023 is when I really started to consolidate all my understanding. I was able to be more confident in myself because of the knowledge I have, the way I speak as well. So everything's just, you know, we're on a constant journey of growth, I think. And 2023 was definitely one that, you know, had a lot of results. So it's one for the books, where from here onwards, you know, you can only dream as big as you want to achieve, right?
True,
Love
that's
that.
true. Yeah.
Your turn.
Oh, my. I'm the one who's asking the question.
Hey, it comes around.
Like similar, like same as Daniel said.
My car
especially-
breaking down?
Yeah, you can include that as well. But like especially Christmas party, not just Christmas party, the whole process of, you know, like efforts behind Christmas party, especially I'm from marketing. I'm gonna promote marketing side, you know, like making films and, you know, like show reel and all that stuff. So that's one of the best thing happened. And along with that, like one thing personally, that I become a father. So that was one of the best
Congrats.
moment. Yeah, thanks guys.
Huge.
Of last year. And the third thing, as you said, like pump, we took that initiative and was supported by Allah, and finally, not on that pace, but slowly, gradually, we are stepping in the right direction. So yeah, let's see what's gonna happen in 2024.
It's very exciting.
Things, exciting things to come up.
Oh,
Yeah,
Looking forward to our next conversation, guys. And
Yeah, it
we'll
was
see,
fun.
Sounds good.
we'll see where our story
Great.
takes us.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any topic or like anything in your mind that you like us to discuss on this platform, please leave a comment and we'll definitely gonna talk about that. Thank you.